build one of these, I will show you how to do. Yes. What's up, everybody? My name is Patrick Savage. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, don't worry. So's everybody else, because this is my first ever YouTube video. And in 2021, I decided to just go for it. On this channel, you're going to find a lot of DIY photography hacks and a lot of behind the scenes from my photography adventures. And today's video is how you can make your very own light painting wand from parts you find at the hardware store for less than 15 bucks. So let's go to the bench and see how I did it. So one of the first things you're going to need for this project is a flashlight. Any old flashlight will do. I just had this one laying around the house because it came with a free subscription. As long as it's bright and it's LED, you shouldn't have a problem. The next thing we're going to need is a piece of plumbing converter. Now this one happens to be 3/4 inch by 1/2 inch because the 3/4 inch fits over the end of the flashlight. Make sure you get the threaded portion. That's really important. Because next we have our plug, and our plug is threaded. So you're just going to get the 1/2 inch or whatever appropriate size is for yours threaded converter. So the next thing we're going to need is some matte black spray paint. I like to use the Krylon kind because it's got the paint and primer in one. The next thing we're going to need is some heat shrink. I got this 1.5 inch piece of heat shrink at my local big box hardware store. And the star of the show, everybody, plexiglass. Now I got this 8 inch by 10 inch sheet of plexiglass for about $5, and that's probably all we're going to need, and we can probably make 2 out of this. Now through the magic of editing, we have painted our piece. We're going to fit it over the edge, and now all we have to do is figure out how much shrink wrap we're going to need. So I need about 1 inch or so, because I don't want to cover up the threads, because this flashlight has a focusing mechanism, and I want to keep that intact. Okay, now that we have our heat shrink sized the way we want to, we're going to use a heat gun or a hair dryer to shrink it down onto the plumbing converter and the flashlight. Now mind you, I should have had my gloves on for this, because that flashlight is metal and it got really stinking hot. And now it is securely connected to the flashlight. Now that we've attached our connector to our flashlight using our shrink wrap, we can move on to the next step. Cutting the plexiglass. Now there are lots of ways you can cut this plexiglass. You can use a plexiglass cutter that you can get from your hardware store, or you can use a razor blade to make multiple scores along a line and then snap the plexiglass in half. But let's be honest, that's not what we're gonna do here. Around here, we use power tools. So I've got an oscillating cutter that we're gonna use to score this line. Now, anytime you're using power tools, of course, you should use safety protection. I've got my glasses, I've got my gloves, and I've got a straight edge to help me cut this line. The most important thing is to go slow and to make sure you keep your saw blade in the groove. And like that, we've made our cut. Now our piece of plexiglass is roughly 1/8 of an inch thick. And so is the blade on our oscillating saw. So we need to cut 1/8 of an inch gap into this nut. Now as a photographer, you should have plenty of these laying around. Make sure you use one of these to grab your nut. Don't use your fingers. Yeah, I just heard it too. I just realized that I suggested that you use an A-clamp to grab your nuts. Hardy, har, har, har. Now you want this to be a really tight fit. So it is going to take some effort to get this glass inside that notch. but notice how we've set it down a good ways so that it should sit nice and tight in there. Now that we've got the notch cut out at the end of our nut, we can secure it to the plexiglass using some super glue. It won't take much, just a couple of dabs, but the most important thing is to make sure to wear your gloves so that you don't get any contact on your skin. Put a little on the top. And secure our piece of plexiglass. I like this rapid type because it bonds in about 30 seconds and it's dry in about 30 minutes. So let's check this out when we come back. All right, now our super glue has cured our plexiglass into our nut, and we can screw our flashlight and plumbing connector onto the end. And as you can see, the light shines through on all four sides, effectively creating a light painting wand. Now, another cool thing you can do is take a piece of cellophane from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any other craft store. This is the kind that you use to do gift baskets with. You take that and you wrap it over the end of your nut, and then you screw it into the plumbing connector. It's thin enough not to mess with the threads, and it creates a tight seal. Now, you've got a purple gelled light painting wand. The other cool thing is, because we have a large sheet of plexiglass, I was able to make this diamond shape as well. And I took a piece of sandpaper, 120 grit, and just kind of roughed it up to frost it. So there you go. We've got a light painting wand and two attachments. And here's the first image I ever created with my homemade DIY light painting wand. Big shout out to local independent model Katie Bates for posing for this. I hope you liked this video, and if this inspired you to get out and give this a try, please leave a link in the comments below and I'll check out your work. Or you can just give me a thumbs up. But either way, please share this with your friends and help me grow this channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Let's be honest, this is as close to a Jedi as I'm ever going to be. I'm way more of a scruffy nerf herder.